Welcome to the Emerging Startup Series at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TEIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is Tech Meets Purpose. Navneet Gupta's journey from global tech to social impact. In a world where global mobility is a norm, staying connected to family and ensuring they care back home can be overwhelming. Navneet Gupta, a tech leader turned founder, understands this better than most. After years of leading engineering teams at some of the world's most innovative companies like Microsoft, Careem, TransferWise, Flipkart, and Docusign, he decided to turn a personal pain point into a purpose driven venture. Through a startup, ServiceGTD, Navneet is building a conscious platform designed to help NRIs care for their elders in India, bringing miles through trust, tech, and thoughtful service. In this today's episode, we dive into his journey of reinvention, vision for the future, and the human story behind the founder. And we also come to know Navneet as a person. So, welcome Navneet to this coffee conversation episode.
Thank you so much, Amir sir, for having me on the show. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I really look forward to a great conversation with you today.
So let me explain you, Navneet. There'll be three rounds: professional, personal, and a rapid fire round. We will be hot seat like coffee with current and yes, inspiration, niche marketing, which will help you in your stories on social media and other things. So you have to be witty, fun, and quick, and then you get this autograph and this book as a gift. So, friends, I'm Ryan Amir Virani, host of Coffee Corner, legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. So, my first question, Navneet, from leading engineering teams at global companies to building a service platform, what inspired your leap into entrepreneurship startup journey, and how has the journey been till date?
Sure. Thanks for the question. So you are right. Like ever since I graduated, I have been part of tech companies. I started my career with Microsoft, and I worked there for a while. Then I was also very fascinated by whole startup ecosystem that was emerging in Bangalore, and I was in touch with certain presence. Yeah, hope the connection is stable.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So then I decided, okay, let's actually, move into the startup world. So I came to Bangalore. I joined an early stage startup. I worked there for a while, built the data infrastructure for analytics over there, and I really enjoyed the experience. I felt for the first time that I was really able to contribute according to my potential, and that journey was a great learning experience. Then from then on, I continued to work with other startups as well. So I was with Flipkart when it was a fairly young company. So I stayed there for 2.5 years. Worked with some of the great technical talent that was at Flipkart. Many of them are actually themselves entrepreneurs now. And the cycle sort of continued. And in 2016, I got an opportunity to move abroad. So I went to Dubai, joined again this early stage startup called Careem, built the payment infrastructure over there. From Dubai, I got another international opportunity in Singapore. So I took that opportunity, worked in Singapore for a while, and after all those years, I felt I was doing good professionally, but somehow my social life was not something to my satisfaction. So I decided to come back to India. So just before COVID, I was back in India, and uh, the COVID period actually, changed me a lot as a person. I think it gave me perspective that I never thought much about previously. And I think since COVID, I have been thinking about doing something different than maybe that than what maybe I've been doing for the last 15, 16 years. And I think I reached a point where I felt that I have certain level of financial stability in life, and that is the right time now. It's the right time to take some risk and venture into entrepreneurship. So I looked around, okay, what kind of problems I wanted to solve, and I looked into my own sort of personal and professional history, and this whole issue of children being away from their parents is something which I've seen happening a lot within my own family as well, because practically everyone moves out for job and professional reasons, and then but what I also realized at certain point, the parents they start to sort of become semi-dependent, or they start to require certain help. So there is actually a need for services in the elder care space. And when I researched the whole space, it's still an emerging space in India. And there are all kinds of players, good ones and not so good ones. And I thought, like, for an NRI, it's very difficult to discern between the two. Like, how do you actually decide? So that's when the idea of starting ServiceGTD came about, that we will actually do all the kind of background checks and market research to make sure that we are able to find the right service providers. And we have now built an ecosystem of service providers who are able to cater to about 40 plus cities in India for care at home services, which is the first category that we have gone after. So that's how I would describe the journey so far. It's been very meaningful, what I've experienced in the last 6-7 months. Yeah.
Beautiful. So let's build up a conversation. As you shared, you have worked across multiple countries, multiple companies. Uh, so I'm dividing into two parts. The story behind your startup name, Service GTD.
Yeah.
Then, uh, how has the NRIs taken up to Service GTD and that elders living in India? How have they taken up to this concept of elderly care, geriatric care, through your startup company, Service GTD?
Sure. That's a great question, and like, this is something which I definitely get asked often. So happy to talk about it. So back when I was in Microsoft, like in 2009-10 time frame, Microsoft was pretty much a productivity company, and like the main softwares are of course the Office software. So one of the famous books around that time was the Getting Things Done: The Art of Stress-Free Productivity by David Allen, and I happened to come across that book as well. And I realized that, okay, we all have finite time, but productivity is about the kind of output we achieve in a unit of time. So that book really helped me understand the meaning of productivity. So when I started Service GTD, the whole idea was to actually help people, whether it's NRIs or elders in India, uh, able to kind of get back the time that they can from in their lives, and delegate some of the responsibilities or work to professionals who are like good quality professionals. So in that sense, it was conceptualized as a concierge platform that for whatever services, particularly starting with of course elder care, you need help with. You don't have to waste all your time in doing your own research, and even if you do the research and find someone, if something happens, then again you are back to square one. You again have to do all that research again. So there's a lot of back and forth that can happen, and a lot of wastage of time. So I felt this was the apt name, where we are trying to sort of help people save up on their time, become more productive in their lives. And even in the case of elderly, right, like of course when people age, their productivity decreases, but through the right kind of support systems around them, they can still be fairly productive. right? So I think the both concepts align very well with the kind of learnings or philosophy of that book. So I thought this is the right name for the company.
Wow. So, Navneet, what gaps is Service GTD is solving for elderly care in India, especially for the senior citizens who are staying alone or with families, but uh, the earning members, the children, are based in miles away.
Yes, yes. So I think like even if I look at my own life, I mean, my mother still is in my hometown, and I'm slightly fortunate that my brother is now based in the same hometown as my mother. So some of the worries that I've had in the past, they are a bit relaxed now. But in many cases, uh, I've seen that okay, you go to house and only mother and father are there and the children are all gone, right? So that's called as an empty nest syndrome, right? Like this is a very fairly common thing nowadays. And previously, maybe a couple of decades back, the norm was like joint family. So even if children actually moved out, you would still have other family members being in the same house, and as and when some situation arises, they can help out each other, and that used to work actually quite beautifully. But it just so happened in the last couple of decades that nuclear families are on the rise, and after children move out, in majority of the scenarios, I would say now is like parents are alone, and after whole like particular age, they have certain requirements or help that they need. So one of the big challenges for NRIs is, the problem is actually just beyond the monetary support, right? Like, uh, particularly if I talk about people based in US, Canada, Australia, or even UK, the time zone difference is actually a big challenge, right? By the time you are starting your day, it's almost like evening or late night in India, and it's very hard to keep like a regular check on how things are going on. Like in some cases you are able to do, on some days you are not able to do, and uh, there is a point in life, where let's say a person who's an NRI is himself reaching 40s or mid 40s or early 50s, then they themselves have a lot of other responsibility around their professional commitments, or their personal health itself, or their children education, and it just becomes really really overwhelming to take care of everything uh, you know properly. And that's where we thought, like, if we can build this platform where we can provide them the right support and advisory services to find the right care solutions for their parents, then it would be helpful. And the way we operate is, it's not just a matchmaking that we do and we step out. We continue to be engaged in the overall life cycle of the service. So even after we connect you with the right service provider, we have a concierge sort of model where, for any kind of a follow-up, conversations, questions, feedback, complaints, concerns, replacement request, we continue to be on in the loop and act as a single point of contact single point of contact for all the support that you would need after the placement as well.
Wow. So, my next question. Uh, this sector is all about trust, which is
Yes.
a critical factor, especially for families relying on service delivery
Yeah.
and children who are miles away.
Yeah.
So, uh, how do you build that trust?
Yeah. Trust is a fascinating word, and I think I don't think there is like a single definition of trust that works like universally. But what I've seen is that people often think about trust in very like big terms, that you know, but I have kind of realized that it's actually about the small things, right? So there is this theory I learned recently about this jar theory, where it's like if you keep doing small things, in the right way, it builds up the trust. Similar to how if you put like small marbles in a jar, at some point the jar will be full, right? So um, it's about actually like, you know, doing what you say and saying what you do, kind of a thing, right? If you continue to adopt that model and take care of the small things, you know, while you engage with the customer, it builds up incrementally. And then I think after a certain time, you reach a point where uh, you know, it kind of compounds as well, right? Like it's a feature of time also, right? So the more time you spend understanding the customer pain points and engaging with them with regard to their unique situations and requirements, it leads to you know, better trust equation. So that's how we you know, operate currently.
So what are the service offerings at ServiceGTD for the elderly care?
Yeah. So we when we actually did market research, we talked to about you know, 120 to 130 NRI families to understand what are the major pain points they face. And of course, the number one reason of their worry or concern was around, you know, what will happen if something you know, if some situation is there with my parents, you know, what will happen then? Because traveling in a, you know, like in a quick manner after something happens is not, it's sometimes possible but not always possible also. There are all kinds of logistical challenges and stuff like that. So people particularly again NRIs based in US, Canada, they need some sort of a local support system that they can rely on, right? So sorry, what was the question again? Can you remind me?
What are the service
Oh,
offerings
yeah.
ServiceGTD for elderly care?
Yeah. So in many cases, we realize that okay, the parents are by themselves in their home, and if we can offer services which can cater to various life stages, then their worry actually can be taken care of to a large extent, right? Like, so the way we define is like a young senior, which is somewhere between, let's say, 60 to 70 or 55 to 65, then a middle aged senior, which is 65 to 80, and then an advanced senior, which is 80 plus. So in different stages, you require different kind of services, right? So in some cases, it could be just that somebody needs help with, let's say, a domestic helper who stays with them for the majority of the day, take care of all the household work and all. In some cases, it could be a bit more advanced, you know, case where maybe the person is, or the elderly is bedridden and they need someone to help with all the, you know, feeding and hygiene management and all the related tasks that come with care for a patient in such situation. So we have like three distinct profiles that we suggest to the customers based on their requirement. Like one is household help, where the parents are essentially like no big medical issue, but they need help with like household work and stuff. The other is where they need medical assistance, and that again is a more like um, advanced assistance versus basic assistance. So for basic assistance, we have a caretaker or a GDA kind of a, you know, suggestions that we make. And then advanced assistance where you know, maybe the person requires some sort of you know, medical interventions as advised by the doctor, that can only be carried out by a qualified nurse. So then we will advise or help arranging the right qualified nurse who can be with the patient for, let's say, a 12-hour a day period or a 24-hour a day period, depending upon the requirement of the customer. So these are the few like core services which we are focusing on. Some of the other services that we have are around insurance advisory, and we are actually trying to educate people about importance of taking the insurance early, not waiting till a late stage. So that is another, you know, service that we offer, and we are building upon, you know, more services where even outside of home, if you require assistance at a hospital or maybe a post hospitalization care or an assisted living facility. So we have you know, our partnership teams building capabilities to fulfill such kind of requirements as well. So that's how we are expanding to becoming like a full stack platform for elderly care services.
Beautiful. So now, how do you balance innovation with the operational realities of elder care services in India?
Yeah, yeah, I think again a great question, and Here, I would actually want to say something which I've realized only in recent years. Okay, when so we like I'm a techie, and one of the things about the thought process of techies is that no matter which problem you present to them, they try to think of a tech solution. Okay, so that their thought process is around, okay, this is the problem, this is the technology you need. Okay, but in certain kind of scenarios, technology can act as an enabler or an add-on of sort, but the real thing is more human in nature. Not all everything is about technology. So we look at it as a kind of hybrid approach of sorts, where some technology is also required. But I think, particularly with elders, of course they have some physical sort of help needs, but uh, the other aspect of like companionship and emotional support and having somebody who actually listens to them and understands them, that is also like really really important, right? So people are now trying to build AI companions and AI support systems who can be companions, but I think like it's always going to be a mix of both. Not no, this it cannot be a completely human based thing, otherwise continues to be a very operational thing, and it cannot be just a tech enabled thing, because then you lose the human side of the whole equation. So we think of it as a good kind of mishmash of both of these aspects, tech as well as human element.
Wow. So now, how do you see the future of conscious service platforms evolving for senior citizens in India?
Yeah, so this concept, I think, is not like a very new concept when we think about a global context, because in countries like US and some other countries, they already have had the concept of retirement homes or assisted living homes, where you do have a concierge where you can actually place your request or whatever assistance you require, and they should be able to help. And even in the premium living societies that are coming up in India, that concept of concierge is also there. But of course, not everyone is going to, it's not practical. Sometimes it's not, preference that they want to move to a retirement home or a living senior living community. They want to be in their own home as well. So that's where I realize the concept of a digital health concierge that is required in case people require like on-demand assistance. So I see this, kind of growing in trend only because one of the things that we seem to be having less and less of is time, right? So internet is becoming really noisy, and the noise that was created by social media, it is only amplified by the AI, right? Particularly the Gen AI. So how do you actually find the right people or the right service providers? It's a real challenge actually, and I've faced this in my own life as well. And I felt like if you take professional advisory, in many cases you are much better off actually, rather than trying to figure everything on your own. Like of course, like as people we think that we are smart enough to kind of figure out everything on our own. Many people eventually do that as well, but it also takes up a lot of time in your life. So our promise to them is that we help you get the right advisory, right assistance, right support, while saving you a lot of time. And we continue to be a support system for you as and when you need assistance, even after the service has been booked through our platform. So this model, I see it becoming more popular like in other segments of service categories as well. But I think in elderly care particularly, we feel it's very time, like the time has come for it to exist, and that's why we started.
Wow. So, Navneet, what has been the biggest challenge in transitioning from a tech leadership role to a founder's mindset?
Right, right. So I think like when it comes to startups, like being part of startup is not something which is new for me, because I have been part of like overall 7 startups in my past. Many of those startups are no longer startups; they are very big established companies. But what, of course, changes when you become a founder is that the kind of mindset that you need to have in terms of okay, wha- like you cannot really say this problem is not my problem, right? When you are part of a job, then there's still some certain, like boundaries, some fencing. Okay, this is my problem, this is not my problem, this is some other team or some other person's problem. But when you become a founder, there's nothing you can say no to. If a problem is there in front of you, you have to go and attend to it, understand it deeply, work with the people to solve it in the right way. Even if you do not know how to solve it or what to be done, you still have to be involved in the process. Hire the right people, hire the right experts to solve it for you. So these are all the challenges that come across. And there's always this thing about as I was saying earlier, whether you should do it yourself or you should engage with an expert or a service provider. So my sense is that in many cases, if the situation allows you, you should take help, from professional services, whether it is, marketing or hiring or, other operation related stuff. Uh, so it definitely is like a constant decision that you are making, whether you do it in-house, you do it like through an external third-party vendor. So those are like the constant decisions you have to make as a founder. And the other thing is, of course, all about like owning the uh, success and the failure, the both sides of it, right? Like startups, journey is all about up and down. Like almost on a weekly basis, you experience big highs and lows. So you have to keep like a steady mind and make sure that your team feels confident that we are on the right path. So when you, as a founder, like you are in the right mindset, then that will perhaps be passed to the right, like team members, and they will feel safe and confident about achieving the goal. So those kind of things I would say are very important to have when you transition from a startup job to maybe becoming an entrepreneur yourself.
Beautiful. So, this question is you are on leadership. You have worked in fast-paced tech environments. How has that shaped your leadership style as a founder now?
Yeah, so I think one of the good things that I feel I've seen happen in the tech environments is there's this whole emphasis on letting the good ideas come to the top. Okay, so many tech companies, particularly I think startups, they operate in a very non-hierarchical manner, like a very flat hierarchical model. So the emphasis is that people are encouraged to come up with like good ideas, and in a true meritocratic kind of a culture. It's not about the position or the title of the person from which the idea is coming. It's about the quality of the idea itself, and that actually makes a lot of difference, because then people feel empowered to voice out their ideas, bringing suggestions, and that actually helps a lot, right? And another thing is that tech basically is also is a way to enhance sort of productivity, and so whatever we are trying to solve in terms of problems, the approach is always to build in a way that over time
Hmm.
it becomes self-sustaining, right? You shouldn't have to look at the same problem again and again and again. The whole idea of building right automations and right workflows, so that the same work takes lesser and lesser time in terms of manpower, that kind of a philosophy actually helps companies, even with like very small number of employees, to become really really big, right? Like for example, there's this Telegram kind of a company, I think, which is into similar to WhatsApp. They are like a global, messaging platform now, but they only have like 30 employees. Similarly, I think when WhatsApp was acquired, it had like maybe 20 odd employees, and it had a global reach. So even with a very small team, you can build very large companies, and that's the kind of mindset that tech enables you to have.
Beautiful. Okay. Now, this is a magic pitch question. Suppose you meet NRI children at an event in Bangalore, and you're making a pitch to enroll their senior citizen parents in Service GTD platform. What would you say to them in the 30 to 1 minute?
Yeah. Um, so the biggest problem that NRIs face is this whole issue of, you know, quality, the burden of coordination, uh, and the time zone difference. And we have designed our platform in such a way that we help you mitigate all of these challenges and give you a peace of mind solution to find the right service provider for your parents with respect to health and well-being. So that is how I would describe service GD to them. But one thing here I would say is that like the way we are slightly different than a traditional maybe a marketplace is that we do not operate on revenue targets as such. Like we are not keeping goals that we should have these many customers or this much revenue and all. The approach we are taking here is that the direction is much more important than the speed. So if we do the things the right way and we offer honest advisory and the right support, then even through word of mouth, which is in general the most common way in which NRIs actually take services in India, that should actually help us with our growth. So that's the approach we are trying to take. So we actually emphasize much more on customer satisfaction and overall experience for the customer than perhaps trying to achieve some revenue target.
Beautiful. So my last question for our professional journey round: what advice would you give to professionals who want to transition from the corporate world into startup founders journey?
All right, all right. Yeah, so I think India is becoming a startup nation, and there are many young people who want to be startup founders and entrepreneurs, and it's a great sign because traditionally we have been a risk-averse society, but now the risk-taking ability of young people is growing, and that's fantastic to see. However, at the same time, I would also say that you need to have a very clear thought process around why you are looking to start a startup, right? Like if you are doing it for reasons like earning quick money or getting fame or being on the cover of a newspaper or something like that, then those are not the right reasons actually. Like that you might actually get some of those, but over the long term that is not sustainable. I think the only reason I would say that you should do a startup is that you see a problem around you or in the world that you truly want to solve, right? It actually becomes almost like a personal responsibility that you learn as much about as possible about the problem and develop the right solutions, which is like it has value for the customer, it has value for the business, it has value for the overall ecosystem, right? So those things are like really important. And many times I've seen people do startup just to maybe impress others and just get like social validation, stuff like that. Those are the reasons I would say you shouldn't do a startup. Like you should look at a problem, you should look at your own strengths, you should look at your own motivation to solve at the problem, you should look at the resources that you have with you and around you to go after that problem. And if all those basics are in place and you are building it the right way, you will find a lot of investors and backers who will believe in your idea and allow you to grow and help you to grow. So this is how I describe it.
Wow. So let's go to the next round and understand Navneet as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Yeah, sure. So I grew up in a joint family. So I lived and grew up with my grandfather and grandmother. I spent like all my formative years with them. Really good memories. I was particularly close to my grandfather. Uh, and what happened is like when I was in sixth standard, there was an unfortunate incident. My father passed away. So my grandfather actually supported a lot in my overall education and even after that. So I'm like deeply, indebted to his support for my education and all. And my mother is a teacher, my brother is a teacher, my grandfather is a professor. So I basically come from a family of teachers and engineers and some doctors in the extended families, right? So business is not something that it's very popular in the family, but uh, when I thought about like doing this startup, people did ask me why are you leaving a job and all that, but I was like, no, this is a problem I want to solve, and I'm trying to do a different thing here, so allow me to do that.
Beautiful. So let's go to your days at National Institute of Technology, Warangal. What are your memories and experiences from there?
Yeah, so unlike many students in their 11th and 12th who go to, let's say, a quota for preparation and all, I did not go to quota, so I'm not a like a factory product. I think this term quota factory has become very popular.
Yes.
I stayed at my hometown, studied with the teachers, there, and primarily, studied myself. So my grandfather was professor of chemistry, so I learned a lot about that subject directly from him and people around him. And for the other subjects, I studied with some of the teachers there. So I did get into a rank at IIT JEE, but it was not good enough for me to get like the branch that I was looking for. So I joined NIT Warangal, and there I got the computer science branch. And the interesting thing about NIT, which were formerly known as RECs, is that it has people coming from basically all states of India. So it's a great learning experience if you're open to it, to just see the backgrounds and culture of the people who actually come to the institute, and learn a lot of things from them. I think I did maybe a half good job of it. I maybe could have done better in terms of building more connections and networks, but I still feel like I'm connected to a lot of people from my college days. So it was an overall good experience.
Beautiful. So, which is a hobby or interest which helps you to unwind and recharge?
Yeah, I think for me it has to be just being, reading and being curious about things. So I have been reading about just tons of topics ever since I was in college. So beyond my academics, I would be interested in subjects like philosophy and psychology and like those things as well. And it continues till day. After COVID, I have become really really curious about this whole topic of health and well-being, and in the last 4 years, I've read maybe four times health related books and technical books, right? So it was a natural transition for me to, step from a tech role to a more health focused, company right now. And that really helps me. And the outdoor activity, so I do go for a lot of like long walks, so that helps me, unwind.
What is on your current reading list?
So currently, I'm actually, as I said again, reading like a health-related book only. It's called as uh, the Diabetes Code. So I'm just trying to understand this, disease in much more detail, and because we are actually launching diabetes management and reversal advisory through our platform as well. So it's all part of the market research that we have to do. So before we advise others, we have to be really achieve a level of knowledge in that area for us to be able to find the right service providers to be on our platform. So it's all part of the market research that we are doing.
Beautiful. So, how would your friends describe you outside of work in 3 words?
um, See, different kind of friends might describe differently. I mean, some might say that I'm available to them when they need support. So that is maybe one thing. Others might say that I should maybe do like more fun activities. I'm too much of an indoors person maybe, right? So that is something people might say. Other thing is, like, I would like to believe, it might be true, it might not be completely true, is that like in terms of dependability, they can trust me for help and support when they need me.
Wow. Since you're from Warangal, what are the places to check in and food to have? Let's make you a tour guide.
Yeah, so Warangal, I think is a beautiful town, and there are like very famous like temples over there. And there's area called Hanamkunda where like you can go and visit some really I wouldn't say like super ancient, but still they were pretty old temples, so you can see the old art form and all there. In terms of food, it's the Andhra kind of culture. Like now it's Telangana, but like at that time when I was studying, it's Andhra. So you can find a lot of like spicy food and those kind of stuff. So biryanis and all are like popular. So you can try that if you visit.
Wow. Okay. So my last one is a googly one. Describe Navneet in one line.
uh, Again, as I mentioned earlier, I would like to believe that the dependable is the word I would like to associate with myself, and that's what I'm aspiring to. Yeah.
Ah. So let's put you in the hot seat, the rapid fire round, your go-to comfort food.
Previously, it was biryani, but now I'm sort of preferring more home-based food, so it's like dal chawal mostly.
Your favorite color.
Blue.
You're a morning person or night owl.
Morning person, definitely.
One tech tool you can't live without.
Um, I think none of us can live without a browser anymore. Really, we have to be on the internet all the time. So, yeah,
Wow. One word to describe your leadership style.
a good mix of supporting and challenging. Like I prefer to support people, but if somehow their performance or their results are not up to what we originally aligned on, then I'm okay to challenge them as well.
Wow. Your dream travel place.
I have traveled a lot actually during for work, related stuff. But there's one country which I have not traveled to as yet, which is Australia, and I've always harbored this dream of watching the Boxing Day Test match in Australia. So that's still on the bucket list.
Wow. Your favorite Andhra cuisine.
Um, I mean, I have been a biryani fan, so it continues to be that.
Okay. Uh, so last one. Tea or coffee to recharge.
Mostly tea, mostly tea. Yeah.
Less wrist toast.
Sure.
So you did well, and here's a book which will be autographed and sent to you.
Thank you so much.
So as we wrap up this conversation, what stands out about Navneet's journey is a powerful blend of ambition, empathy, and action. He didn't just identify a problem, he decided to build a solution that matters. From writing code in some of the world's biggest tech companies to creating a trusted support ecosystem for NRIs and their senior parents, Navneet's story is one of returning to your roots with purpose. It's proof that meaningful impact often begins with a personal experience and the courage to turn that experience into something larger than yourself. So, like that, there are 500 plus coffee speakers who have shared their professional, personal journeys, insights, inspirations. Subscribe, implement in your life, and we continue conversation with or a cup of coffee with another speaker. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. Really enjoyed my conversation today. Thank you.